How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. I almost lost track of time. I was playing Zelda.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I got my new color mini.
Nice. Yeah, I saw the pictures. That's pretty sweet.
Webcam won't focus well on something this small, but...
Jeff, I missed it. Can you awkwardly hold it up to the camera again? I was still signing in, and I was oh, that's fun. Right on. I dig it.
Even has a little shield on his shell.
Nice. Right on.
Can you camera load? I don't want to see you. And here's a Dropbox link to the zoomed up photo I took. Because this is what I do with my time. I spend $45 on a tiny piece of plastic.
Right? Well...
But it's such a cool piece of plastic.
I love that.
Seal and I just got in our miniatures. I just put a white base coat on mine, but we just got those in the mail yesterday.
Nice.
Hey.
All of my painted ones end up looking like something by Salvador Dali, so I just have the machine.
I was playing a halfling. Why does this look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame? I don't... Yeah, I can't believe it. I successfully went to the coast. We were gone from Wednesday night to Friday evening, and I successfully went on vacation without taking any of my books with me or even opening up a PDF and reading while I was on vacation. So I'm kind of proud of myself. Yeah. Normally that doesn't happen. Normally, at the very least, I at least take a book or two with me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going on vacation. I'm not doing anything. But while I was gone, one of the adventure modules that I'm going to run for the Wednesday night game did arrive. But I thought ahead, and I read the PDF before it got here. So I am all prepared for Wednesday night game. And then I stayed up late last night reading ahead and being prepared for today's games. And then tonight, the Saturday night group will be going through their second half of their Traveler module. I suspect that they will probably close out tonight, and we will be back with them to D&D next week. They're level 18 ending to their campaign. Yeah, the more I run D&D, the more I realize how much I hate high-level campaigns. Mostly because it is impossible to challenge your players. I mean, a lot of people post and like, I love high-level games because it doesn't matter, you can do anything. And I'm like, right, but your job as a DM isn't supposed to be, you know, hooray, let's have Disneyland and everybody wins. It's supposed to be, there's supposed to be some challenge or reason, and if the players aren't challenged or there's no reason, then what's the point? I don't know, maybe I'm weird.
Well, all you gotta do to create a challenge is cast a slow spell on the monk. That's all it takes.
Yeah, my mages have been casting a lot of time stop.
Yeah, that sucks.
I like doing a high level for like a one shot. Where
Yeah.
I'm all invested in it, let's just go out, blast a bunch of stuff, yay, and then let's move on.
Yeah. Well, and I find that like after like probably level 13 or 14, it starts to get like, you know, your character's so long in the tooth that they're like, yeah. Even the players are feeling like, yeah, I don't really think that my character would go on any more adventures after everything we've been through. Like, yeah, probably not. Yeah.
And if you take a character from 1 to 13, you put a lot of time. It's like, let's just mix it up. I'm tired of being a dwarf barbarian.
Right. Well, not just that, but I mean, just the psychological traumas that your character goes through is unlikely that he's going to want to go into another tomb.
My characters are constantly traumatized by never getting the capstone level.
Right?
Never once.
Yeah.
Ever. 48 years old. Never had a capstone level.
Yeah, I'm going to have 2 groups that are going to hit 20. Friday night's group, after their Traveler adventure, they will be going into the last 2 levels of, the last final level of Undermountain. So they'll go from 18 to 20 there. And then the Saturday night group will reach 20 in like 2 adventures. So yeah, I'll be done. I'll be glad to be done with the high level stuff and get back to normal D&D. Yeah, it was funny starting you guys at level 1 in this. I had to like pull the e-brake and come way back. I'm like, fuck, these guys are gonna die if I'm not careful.
Yeah, I got pretty close.
I mean, there was a couple times I was like, holy shit, we're gonna have a TPK. Yeah, there was a couple times you guys were close to TPK and I was like, well, I know this NPC totally wouldn't do this, but he's gonna do it anyways. I'm winning, I'm going to run away for some reason. I was just trying to teach you a lesson.
This is really hard hitting beginning of a campaign.
It is. It is fairly brutal. You have to keep in mind that this was actually done by Kobold Press, and they did the adventure, or were writing the adventure before 5th edition was actually out. So a lot of the rules and stuff that they were going off of were a mix of what they were told by Wizards was going to be the final D&D 5th edition and what was in beta test as D&D Next. And so some of this stuff is a little wonky. I tried to smooth it out and fix it in places where I know that it's weird, and now that we have firmer rules, I try to put those in place. But it still has ended up, it's still a fairly lethal adventure. I mean, you guys are only 3rd level and it's still fairly dangerous. But I picked this one because I know that you guys can handle it, so.
Oh no, it's fun. It's just a rough ride.
Yeah, it tends to smooth out here fairly soon.
It is starting to get easier now that we just got a little bit more HP, extra couple spell slots.
Right. Well, and that I would say that this particular campaign really showcases just exactly how lethal 1st level really is.
You could die from a house cat.
I will be right back.
That makes sense. I mean, if you're a 1st level adventurer, you should be a little afraid of adventuring.
Yeah, there's a reason not many people go out adventuring too, right? 'Cause I bet they, like, most of the people that go off and try it don't come back.
In moderately real-world psychology, the idea of going off to face a dozen kobolds really isn't a very rational life choice.
What do you mean? I shouldn't want to just go and fight a whole bunch of things with some strangers I just met yesterday?
In the pub.
If I beat up enough and I got health increases and like all these other stat improves, I might consider it. But real life doesn't work that way.
All right. Welcome to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Or, I'm sorry, not Dungeon Match. Wrong night. This is Tyranny of Dragons. Before we get started, let me go ahead and thank the Friends of the Greenwater Guildhall. The first on the list. If you're watching on Twitch, if you scroll down, you should see some tiles there. If you do not see the tiles, please click on my profile image and they should pop up for you. And the first on that list is TNC. That stands for Talon Claw. Talon Claw makes beautiful wooden tabletop accessories for your games, such as dice trays, dice vaults, wooden DM screens, cutting boards for charcuterie trays, drink coasters. They have a whole manner of things. All of it is handmade and beautifully done. I'm not sure. I saw something about they were having a sale. You might want to check them out. I'm not positive on that. I've been on vacation for the last 3 days, so I'm not completely up to par on everything, but you may want to check them out. Next on the list is the Speechless Bard. She makes wonderful leather products for your table, such as leather covers for your core rulebook. She has a full line of dice bracelets and dice rolling pads that look like spell scrolls. Definitely check her out. Everything is handmade, hand painted, and hand stitched or stamped. Keep in mind that you will want to give a little bit of time for an order, since she is in the UK and orders can take a little while to reach us. And next, or last on the list, is Fable Beard Company. They make beard products such as oils, balms, butters, and co-wash. Each scent profile is a different fantasy character. Right now I'm wearing the Candyman. It smells like candied apples. Wonderful products. Definitely check them out. And if you do check them out, if you're a first-time buyer, you can get 2 beard oils for the price of 1. Use the code FIRST. And when you pick out, be sure to pick out 2 oils, and when you put them in your cart and you use the code FIRST, you will get that second one rebated for free. Before we get started, there is a new book out for anybody who likes sci-fi in the Traveler universe. There is a book called The Wagner Incident. I can't remember the author's name because, once again, I'm unprepared, but definitely check it out. He is a local guy, and he was given permission by Mark Miller to publish a Traveler adventure, or rather a Traveler novel. And it looks like it is a fantastic novel. I've purchased it. I have not had a chance to start reading it yet, but I will definitely give a review on what I think of the Wagner Incident as soon as I do. So check it out. It's on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle for $2.99. And there will be a link at the bottom on our YouTube videos that you can just go directly to the Amazon page. Check out that book. Where we left off, these guys got into a huge fight due to, I think it was Yip who cast Thunder Wave, and it was a great idea. It took out a ton of kobolds. The downside is that it also is extremely loud. Normally you can hear Thunder Wave within 300 feet. However, you guys are underground in a cave, so it echoed much further than that and drew baddies from all over the place. And basically you fought most of the dungeon in one battle. Just making sure I got rid of something because he or she was going to run the F away. And so then you came back and you took an 8-hour rest, for some reason choosing the Kobold's Barracks as your choice for a night's sleep. I personally probably wouldn't have picked sleeping in Kobold nests, but to each their own. You're probably all itchy from fleas.
I was going to say we wanted the fleas.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Or maybe mites. Either way. You got the Kobold itches, which sounds like a euphemism. And you guys know where... So Mist was able to locate the nursery where the clutch of black dragon eggs are. So what would you guys like to do?
Let's go make omelets.
What was that?
You could freeze them instead.
Well, so as I had brought up last session, probably not a good idea. So yes, if a dragon egg hatches, it's going to immediately bond with the first creature it sees.
That's what I wanted to know, if they imprint.
They tend to, but they are black dragons. They are, as they get older, they are going to be more and more lethal and more evil. That's just their nature.
I wanted to freeze them just to destroy them without a big gross mess, and also nothing would really look amiss either. Exactly. So, because a frozen egg's not gonna be any good.
Right, a frozen egg's not going to hatch. However, they could be, once the egg would be heated back up, it very well could hatch.
Oh crap! We gotta make a big gross mess. I don't know. I don't know why that bothers me, but it does. So it's that volume of it.
Time to get messy.
Not cool with me for some reason.
You can sit outside while I tail bash him if you want.
Hey, he'll come out like covered in dragon goo. It's gonna be really
I'm
gross.
all covered in goo.
Why am I covered in goo?
Have we interrogated our kobold pet yet?
Yeah, you've got this kobold who is down to like 2 hit points, and is tied up. That you we're going to interrogate him, but the reality is that pretty much everything that he was going to tell you came at you. But he probably does know a few bits and pieces of information that could be useful to you. So it's,
Protection, rough and bob?
We gotta ask questions first, though.
Who's got good intimidation? I do not.
I have a +2, that's it.
I'm a kitten.
I would think the Dragonborn Paladin probably have pretty good intimidation.
I would think
Yeah,
so.
but what are we asking? It's like, I'm not just gonna like smack him around and be like, talk, and I have no idea.
You'll tell us everything. Oh, that was
Any other
two.
surprises we don't know about?
They'll tell us who started.
Any other traps or any other surprises? Because that last trap sucked.
Well, you might be surprised, and you might also be a bit disappointed. So here's the thing: with kobolds, aren't that bright, and kobolds are also very selfish. I would say that they're not quite as selfish as goblins, but they're definitely out to save their own skin. So if you slap him around and intimidate him, he's going to just start being a font of information. The key to that is picking out which pieces of information are true and which are not, because he's basically going to say anything to get you to leave him alone and let him go. So you may want to be pointed with your questions. You do have a couple. Well, the only real question that I can think of is what is down the hole.
Yeah,
Yes.
what is down that hole? Tell us.
What is down on people, and are there any other traps?
It's an oubliette.
So who's going to make the intimidation check? Or you can be nice and, try to persuade him.
Yeah, you have to be good, Tom.
What was that?
I said Schlagen can do intimidation
Okay.
if that's the route the party wants to go.
Good cop, bad cop.
I only got like a +1 to persuasion. I don't know. Someone else is probably more persuasive.
I'm negative.
I'm 9.
No one's afraid of the kitten.
I got intimidation at 5 and persuasion at 3.
Jesus. All right.
Okay. I think it's your role no matter what.
I will be glad to put in a help for whichever category is worth it.
Oh wait, well Yip could be the persuader, and if that doesn't work, then you could do the intimidating.
Yeah, Yip's at a +3 for charisma.
And it's a kobold.
That's a very charismatic kobold. Okay. So Shredder's going to assist.
Persuasion for Yip.
So Shredder's said he was going to assist, so he gives Schlagen the help action, and so Schlagen, you can make your intimidation check at advantage.
17.
I don't think that he can beat that. Wow! So he got a nat 20. And he grits his teeth and spits at Schlagen and says, "You can do your worst," in common.
Wow.
Well, how about Yip does a persuasion?
Okay. We'll bring Yip over there.
Since they're both the same, 21 for Yip.
Okay. So Yip persuades him to talk. He tells you that so there's basically two people in charge of this branch of the cult. The first person that's in charge is a female black half dragon named Resmir. He just describes her as a worm speaker. She left with the rest of the cult. He says the second person that's in charge is a human woman who pretty much deals with the human cultists of the group, and her name was Frume Mondath. And he says that if you go down the hole, it goes to Frume Mondath's bedchamber.
Kinky.
Didn't they just like wash a bunch of acid down it?
Well, yeah, rainwater acid.
Acidy water, rain, whatever. Hope she's not too mad about it, I guess. Broken up. Haha.
Fill it full of water and hit it with the lightning bolt.
That's right.
And that's all he tells. He basically says that the kobolds were hired by Resmir, along with a bunch of mercenaries. But the kobolds didn't really need much. They didn't need to be coerced very much to join, since they revere dragons anyways.
Why would they join the revolution, though?
Which revolution would that be?
The one I tried to start when they caught me, it was like, Kobold, unite now! Yeah, all that, and like nobody...
Kobold Liberation Front.
The Kobold Liberation Front?
Yeah, they didn't go for it.
Yeah, no. He looks at Elmira and says, "You false prophet."
Okay, well, I've had my question answered somehow.
So then the question is, what do you want to do with the kobold?
You should probably throw him down the hole.
You make him go first.
See if it's true or not. It'll start freaking out as you go towards it if that part wasn't true.
We could go to those little dragons.
Not the little dragons, the big dragons. There are bigger dragons over here by the dragon egg. Feed it to those ones.
Yeah, maybe. I'll probably, I don't know.
So-
I have a big nerdy think on it while somebody with more leadership decides what actually happens.
Yeah, it's completely up to you guys what you want to do with your I mean, you could just leave him tied up too.
Oh, there was those things up there we were trying to befriend, and it ended up being a bad idea. We could just toss them in there a bit. That they'd be honored to provide sustenance for the crap. Okay,
The drakes.
I've been told like drakes. Yes, I've been told like 8 times what they're called, and I can never. Yeah. So the drakes.
Dangle them over the drake pit.
Just toss them in, like they're not being.
Do that.
I like how Elmira doesn't really feel all right with killing the dragon eggs and destroying them, but she's perfectly okay just tossing a live kobold into a drake pit. Yeah, I guess you have to have a line somewhere.
Dragon eggs because it's a big, gross, goopy mess, and like the innards of the eggs like being strewn everywhere is so gross. But yeah, like intellectually, I'm okay with them being destroyed. I just don't want eggy goobers all over my stuff, you know, like my juice and things. So you know what it is I've cleaned up a lot more dropped eggs than anyone. Any like that. I bet that's what it is.
Like
trying to teach children how to cook, you know, like yeah, they get eggs places and it's not.
Like Rick destroying the clone tanks. I guess Project Phoenix wasn't the fallback I thought it was. Oh my god, put on some pants.
So should we get rid of the cobalt or go for the eggs? What should we do?
It feels like a window of opportunity to go do one of the major tasks easily, and that to me would seem like go take care of the dragon eggs, then see about this person down in the hole.
Okay, let's crack the egg over the hole.
And then throw the kobold in.
Yes.
Okay, I'll stay in the back because I'm little and useless. You weren't here for this, Carrie, but I died immediately after giving that revolution speech. I was dead for like most of that game. So.
Wait. You died?
Yeah, because we got discovered sneaking around an enemy camp, and Chris was like, Elvira, what did you say?
I like how she puts it all on me. It's your fault I died.
Yeah, it didn't work out very well, so I'm gonna stay in the back, much more wisely than
Is it because you didn't hand out the flyers?
Right.
My pamphlets were Xerox too nicely, so they knew we were playing with flyers.
No enough glare on them. That was the problem.
They're glowing in the dark, that's right.
So, you guys drag your kobold prisoner down into the shrine, and Mist is like, down those stairs, that's where the dragon eggs are. And he points over here and says that's where the hole is. So how do you want to go about egg destruction?
We can ranged attack the drakes at our leisure, and then I can walk on down and go smash you if people want.
Okay.
Hey, let me bless everybody before we get into any shit. So, smart. As long as I like not lose the one pencil I brought over here. I'm gonna mark off a bless for all the big guys.
You don't have to waste a spell slot for a blast. So
Okay.
if you're gonna stay safely up here at range, you are able to succeed at your task because the drakes can't get out. They don't have opposable thumbs and they can't open this gate. So yeah, you guys are able to get rid of the drakes and destroy the black dragon eggs in a.
Can I just, for the record, one time use? I have a new feature on my armor, which is a lightning launcher that comes out of my hand like Iron Man. So just for the record, even though you're like, ta-da, it's successful, woo! At least once I shot a dragon egg with.
You just Iron Man'd an egg.
I did it.
Please, the record.
Nuking a hard-boiled egg on high.
Then there's no mess. It just boils inside the egg.
It features the protein.
There's no explosion.
So, Mist leads you guys down here and shows you the hole. And I put the kobold in front.
I'm gonna grab a pencil.
And there's this hole in the floor, and there is like smoking water puddles around the hole because all the water washed down into the chamber below, and you can see that there is the chamber below is lit. Looks like it's probably by candlelight.
Fine, I'll slide on down the chute.
Okay.
Power.
All right.
Slogan will follow right behind.
Okay. So you notice this chamber contains a writing desk and stool, several tables with books and papers, and a mirror on a floor stand. The feet of the mirror are smoking from the acidy water that came down here, but everything seems to be mostly intact. Light comes from 2 oil lamps, and there is a thick rug on the floor that is now smoldering and has been burned through. And there's a rope ladder fixed to the wall that goes up the chute that you came down. Spread open on the table is a single map of the Greenfields area showing the villages the cult attacked and looted. An arrow is sketched in from the Greenfields towards the west and the town of Baragost on the tradeway, where the arrow turns north. A separate sheet of paper that is covered with numerals and columns contains the note, "Everything must be freighted north to Neritar. Resmir allowed us to keep some pearls, a ring, and a handful of stones." Other papers are of less interest. Most of them have bad poetry about dragons.
Fan fiction.
Yeah, fanfic.
Be the judge of how bad they are.
So basically the notes on this table are saying that when the camp had packed up, it's showing that they took all the loot except for what you guys already seem to have found in the chest in the shrine area, and headed north to a town called Neritar, or something called Neritar. Everybody roll a history check. Yikes.
Schlagen got 11 and Yip got a 4.
So none of you have heard of any town or any location called Neritar North.
Wait. Sorry, I get advantage on these. Okay. History, you said?
Yes.
Okay. +3. +4. So that's a soft 20. I don't need to roll again, do we?
No. So Elmira knows that there is a castle north of Waterdeep in the Mare of Deadmen that is known as Castle Neritar. It is, last that she heard, Castle Neritar was abandoned because nobody wants to have a keep that's sitting there in a swamp.
He built his first castle in the swamp, that fell down. He built another castle in the swamp, that sunk.
Yeah, that sunk. Third castle burned down, then sunk into the swamp, but this one stayed up.
Gotta learn history, y'all.
Well, let's scoop up all the papers so other people can have a look at them and maybe learn more.
Yes, I would love to read these later.
Okay. And there is a passage out of here to the west.
Alright.
Anything back in the little nook besides the desk?
No. There's just a bed back there and like an armoire with some black and purple robes.
I will tear his fitting sheets off and throw them on the floor and eat.
That'll show him.
Yeah, everyone hates doing the fitted sheets the second time. Should make that my new thing in D&D. I'll just short sheet everybody.
Short sheet everybody's bed, yes.
Stitch their sleeves closed at the elbow.
So does that make you lawful evil?
Chaotic evil.
You go back and make the bed, but you short you it, so lawful evil.
In
No
the
principles.
in the next chamber, you find that this chamber is a guard barracks. Everybody make an investigation check.
And we'll conclude that we were dumb for sleeping in the filthy hole.
Right. Yeah, there's actually small cots in here, up off the floor.
You said investigation?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Intelligent wisdom. No. Okay. No, I just rolled these shit. I don't get to roll. I got 3.
16.
Okay. What about Mist?
5.
Okay.
And
So
Trevor's curiosity speak today. He got an 18.
So Schlagen, you find that the guards that were in here, you find 6 scabbards that are all decorated with dragon motifs. These aren't necessarily a part of the Cult of the Dragon uniform per se, but you get the feeling that if you were to have these, you would gain a +1 to any charisma checks that you would have to make in order to deal with cultists if you were like in disguise. So you would get a +1 to your charisma if you were trying to influence dragon cultists or deceive them.
And how many of these did I find?
6.
Does it actually have the emblem of Tiamat on it?
No, they're just, the scabbards are engraved with draconic motifs.
Well, I'll go and take one and I'll hold up the rest and like, tell everybody what these things do. Okay.
No, not a blaspheme or anything. Sweet.
Put them
And-
all on at once. That's +6.
And Shredder, you go around the room, and at the foot of each of these cots is a small chest for their personal belongings, and you find a total of 120 gold pieces worth of coins and small gems.
Okay, crap. I'm gonna get like a whole bunch of pencils because this is like, I'm getting flashbacks to when I was in school. Okay, hold on. 120 gold pieces, right?
Correct. So you guys can probably divvy that loot up.
Well, I'm writing it all down. I'll do that later.
Half of that 120 gold pieces is in small gems that are worth like 1 gold piece each.
Okay. I got several.
So one of my infusions is I made a bag of holding.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh,
So go ahead and load it up.
Preparing for the landslide attack.
Exactly.
I'm gonna start gluing gems to my shell like that crab in Moana or whatever.
all right, I got that written down.
Yeah, for Thursday night's dinner, I took some of my savings and we went to Barnacle Bill's and we got, like, not joking, $145 worth of crab and seafood and steamed it up and had this big seafood feast for dinner Thursday night. Fed, what, 5 people? Yeah, so. Yeah, our room had it was a hotel room that had a separate bedroom, and then there was a bed in the main living room, and then the sofa in the living room also folded out into a bed. And it had a small kitchenette, so we just did a seafood boil.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I like Barnacle Bills. I mean, you can't get much fresher than seafood caught that morning. You know, it's like. Yeah, the prawns were huge, like enormous. They were like They're a lot like those gigantic prawns, Jeff, that you and I used to get to cut up and put into the gumbo.
Oh yeah.
Like each prawn was like you could cut into like 3 chunks. They were so big. Yeah. They were enormous.
You didn't deal with the egg What is something about hard outside and then moist inside? It's just like so creepy to me. I can handle a chicken egg, but like any of the bigger eggs, I can't do it. I saw some lady buy an ostrich egg and feed it to her cat. It's like her YouTube channel is nothing but her playing with like, she owns like 9 cats. And she lives in Korea somewhere, and all the cats are really cute, and they're all really well cared for because, yeah, that's like her whole job is playing with the cats all day. But she got an ostrich egg and cooked it, and the cats went crazy for it.
That's a lot of egg.
Yeah, it was something. It was really hard for her to get it open at all.
Before pandemic, I was watching a lot of the Bon Appetit studio stuff, where they do cooking challenges, and one of them used hollowed out ostrich eggs as a mold. I don't even remember what it was for. And it was just remarkable to see the level of gigantism compared to what we're used to. Was just, it's like, here's 6 ostrich eggs, and it's like
Yeah.
a car battery, right?
I guess ostriches find human beings very attractive. Like, if there's too many people around, they, like, won't mate with each other because they'll just be with the people. Isn't that weird?
So, no, I know this is off topic and super crude, but does anybody watch Letterkenny?
Oh, yes. To be sure.
But the ostrich loving reminds me of
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
It'd have to be like 3 people.
And according to the fact we just learned, maybe they don't mind.
Yeah.
So maybe you wouldn't take 3 people.
If it was a sick ostrich.
I'm out of the loop. I'm so behind on everything.
And finally, last.
Truly, Letterkenny is truly foul.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm serious.
I would say Letterkenny's better. It's on the same level with like Trailer Park Boys, but it's not quite as bad as Trailer Park Boys.
Okay.
And they're not stupid like Ricky is.
Well, dairy.
Well, yeah, there's Derry. I don't know though. You put Derry next to Ricky, and Derry looks like he could work for NASA. I mean,
Wait, what room are we in?
so you've left the barracks, and the last room that in the entire Dragon Hatchery you find. When you come into this room, laying on the floor with several empty, cheap bottles of wine around him is a passed out cultist, snoring. And he has slept through all of this in his drunken stupor. You can clearly see that this room at one point was used to store the stolen treasure that is to be used for Tiamat's hoard. It has been moved out of this room and assumedly on the path that you saw on the maps. And all that's left in here, you find another 16 gold pieces. That includes the 3 gold pieces that the drunk, passed out guard has in his belt pouch. And when you take him out of his belt pouch, he still doesn't wake up.
Anybody got a pen and quill? I'm gonna draw a mustache on this guy.
I actually think I do. Go for it.
We could do like a, what's the cop movie where they strip the guys and lash them to a merry-go-round?
Strip him naked and cover him in dragon egg.
Yeah. Tie the kobold to him in a unfavorable position.
I don't know. Should we wake him up and leave him tied? We should tie him up. Nothing else. Something has rope.
I say we just have the Dragonborn put on his chest and make him up that way.
Mm-hmm.
into a state of fear.
Wow.
Well, I mean, do we think he's got anything helpful? I mean, wouldn't it just be better to, I don't know, handcuff him to a radiator and keep going?
Yeah, I think so.
This guy, even you can pick him up and move him around. I mean, the only way that you're going to wake this guy up is throwing water on him and vigorously shaking him for a good 5 minutes. He is out.
That sounds like work.
Yeah, I mean, there's almost no point to tying him up. He's that drunk. So then the final question, the final question is, what do you do with your awake kobold?
Throw it with the destroyed angel, make it look like they both did it.
Tie him to this guy. That's a good timer. Because I don't necessarily want to kill him. I don't know.
Tie them together?
Yeah, and you can't drag him around, I don't think. So he's stuck down here, so they can't go outside and alert anybody for a while. And also it's not unethical, I guess. I don't know if I care. I don't even remember what alignment I picked. You just go and double check. Oh, I think it might be true neutral, honestly.
Okay, so you tie the winged kobold to this drunk guard and bust out of here. Now, before you went in, you were told by Leosin Erlenther, the Harper monk, to meet him in the city of Elturel. And to get to Elturel, you have to go back through Greenest. And you can all take 5th level for having gone through the Dragon Hatchery.
5th, aren't we on 4th?
Or, I'm sorry, 4th level. I'm sorry, you're right, 4th level. Sorry, I was thinking ahead.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no, you can take 4th level. You're right.
I think I actually did something good as well.
That just lets me get max strength.
I will level Schlagen, but I will let Seal level yet. That can happen later.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfectly acceptable.
I don't think she'd be happy black. Wait, what would I take?
Hey, why did I do that?
You gave me what?
Yeah, give her like the historian feat or something.
Hey, you never know when you need a history check.
Never. That's why you never know.
Why do I have a liberal arts degree?
Yeah.
Welcome to taking the most useless courses in college.
Okay, I'm getting a golden score improvement, so that's nice. Some more HP.
So I was smart, Jeff. For my new Akubra hat, I got the Stampede strap, so that if I'm out by the river washing dishes again, I can actually tie it, and it won't come off my head. And then the other thing, just for you, I did get a feather to put in it. So.
Next time, just don't go wash dishes when your blood alcohol content's like 0.3.
Well, it was the morning. I hadn't even really got started yet. I didn't trip and fall. The sand literally went out from under me.
Almost drowned in a 2-foot deep creek.
Hey, that current was ridiculous.
Robin Hood been enticed, huh?
So, to get to Elturel, which is all the way up here, you have to obviously go back to Greenest. When you get back to Greenest, you are met by Mayor Nighthill, who is delighted to see that you have survived going into the Dragon Hatchery, and he tells you that Leosin Erlinther left already to head to Elturel, but because it is 200 miles from Greenest to Elturel, Leosin paid for each of you to have a horse, and he left each of you with 50 gold pieces for traveling money.
Rich.
And he says that he paid enough money that if there is any weapon, now these would be non-magical, but any weapon that you want to purchase in Greenest, it is on the house. Leosin did enough for the town that you can all purchase a weapon of your choice, or armor, or whatever. I'm sorry, what was that?
Are they masterwork?
There are no masterwork weapons in 5e.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with my weapons. Anybody else?
I'm gonna trade out my side weapon, my light hammer, for a short sword.
Okay, you can do that. And the last thing that Mayor Nighthill tells you is that Leosin told you to go to Elturel, and if you weren't able to locate him, to ask around for a man named Onthar Frume, or Onthar Frume, rather. Now, on horseback, from Greenest to Elturel will take you about 6 days.
Sounds right.
Now, while you're in Greenest, here's the question. So you found some jewelry in the chest in the shrine. Did you want to keep that, or do you want to be the good guys and return it to the town?
I was going to have everybody vote, see what they think. Let me look at what we found again. Gold and sapphire ring worth 900 gold pieces and pearls for 300 gold pieces. So do we want to give that back or keep?
I think if we know that it belongs here, it's another thing if it's from another town and we couldn't feasibly find the source, then it's kind of like we're not a refund party.
Okay, so you got one vote for keep. What about everybody else?
Well, I don't think I can build anything with jewelry, so I'm fine giving it back.
One vote for giving it back. Anybody else want to vote?
I have no need for jewels.
When you say keep, are you talking about for our own personal possession, or are we gonna like black market sell it?
So here's the thing: the ring and pearls are unique enough that you probably wouldn't be able to sell them in Greenest.
Yeah, we'd have to go somewhere else.
Your most likely candidate for fencing something like that would be Baldur's Gate. You might be able to find somebody in Elturel, although it should be known that Elturel is a holy city, so maybe not. Probably not a huge black market in Elturel.
Slogan cares no way or the other. I don't know how to vote for Yip. Yip abstains.
Okay. So it looks like we're giving it back.
Okay. So you're able to easily find the owners of these pieces of jewelry, and as a reward, they pay you guys 300 gold pieces.
Okay, I'll add that to the running list.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Is it reasonable to assume that since I took a level in Rogue, that somewhere in this town I would have acquired thieves' tools?
Yeah, you could you could get thieves' tools here, yes.
Okay.
And you wouldn't necessarily have to purchase them. That could just be part of Leosin's cash that he left.
Sweet. It's the only thing I really need now. And I know that in the level I don't automatically get them, so I have to acquire them and stuff. Right?
Right.
Don't just magically generate these tools.
Yeah, right. They don't just appear. And Bognock probably already has thieves' tools as well.
Yeah, I have thieves' tools, I have alchemists, I have tinkerers, I have myths, and I took just when I leveled up a cartographer.
All right.
So when there was a call for drawing a mustache on someone, yes, we could.
I can make that happen.
So I feel like I have all my tool bases covered at this point.
So you guys, so then the question is, are you going, so it's a 6-day ride from Greenest to Elturel. Are you going to do a normal ride, or are you going to push through each night and try to shorten the trip?
I thought we do normal. Is it urgent? Is there a reason to do it faster?
Well, you know that the Cult of the Dragon left the camp the night before you arrived to get to the Dragon Hatchery. So,
okay.
It may be, I mean, if you're trying to catch up to them, you know that they went to Baragost and then we're heading north to Baldur's Gate, and then north of Baldur's Gate along the Tradeway, up past Waterdeep. So,
okay. So are we going to try and catch up, or just trailing? What do you guys think?
You know, forced march isn't all that bad. It puts us a little bit of a penalty when we get there, but attacking from a chase perspective can be advantageous.
So if you push the horses and ride day and night, you can reach Elturel in 4 days. Pushing through the night, the thing that you notice most about the direction that you're traveling is that directly above the city of Elturel on the horizon, you can see it's almost like you're following a really bright star. But the star seems like it's fairly close. And the closer you get, as you get past Burdusk, in this area, the further you get from Burdusk, the lighter it is. And soon, as you're in the kingdom of Elturgard, which Elturel is the capital, you realize that it is daylight 24/7. The sun never goes down. And you see in the sky over the city of Elturel, which looms on the horizon, this glowing disk that provides light year-round. Elmira and Schlagen make a religion check.
Four.
17.
Schlagen, you know that the light that comes off of this is deadly and or painful to undead. Schlagen, you can make a history check.
Ooh. History's a 4.
So
That feels
the only thing that you know is that that this is deadly to undead. But this is your first time in Elturgard. or going to the city of Elturel. So beyond that, none of you know anything really much about it. When you get to the city of Elturel, it is a large, extremely orderly city, and the Chianthar River actually goes right through the middle of the city. And the most distinguishing feature, aside from this glowing disc of light over the city, is that the center of this, or not really the center of the city, but a large, tall spire is in the southeast quadrant of the city. And this spire, you do know that, I mean, it's famous enough that you know that this is the high tower of Elturel, and the high tower is made of like a white alabaster that just gleams in this disc's light, almost to the point of glowing. And as you come into the city, you know the cobblestones are all clean and white. Everything in the city is spotless. You don't see any graffiti or homeless camps anywhere. What do you guys do as far as trying to find Leosin when you get to the city?
Has the map changed?
Sorry, I probably didn't drag you over there. No, I did not. So here is, sorry. There you go. So you went from Greenest down here in the south to Elturel on the Chianthar River. And actually, oh, never mind. I don't have it on here. At least I'm pretty sure I don't have it on here. Let me double check. I know where to get it though. Yeah, here we go. And then here, and I'll show you what Elturel looks like. Show it to all players.
Is there any kind of like library or university or anywhere where I can chat up?
So the yes, there is a library. There are numerous temples. So throughout the city of Elturel, you find temples to that. All of the temples are dedicated to the what they refer to as the three or the triumvirate, which would be, let's see, Torm is the main one. Hold on here and I will tell you specifically. So there are large temples that border on being universities dedicated to Torm, Tyr, and Tempest, all throughout Elturel.
So I'll probably just go annoy people there looking for information on the people that are trying to find me.
Okay, so all of you ask around for Leosin, and nobody knows who he is. But when you bring up, or when you ask or if you ask where to find Onthar Frume, you are told that you can find Onthar Frume at a tavern called A Pair of Black Antlers, and that is the current headquarters for the Order of the Gauntlet.
Like a fighting club or something?
Mm-hmm.
The Order of the Gauntlet is a knightly order, usually filled with paladins and fighters, most of whom are worshippers of Torm, Tyr, or Tempest. But they do accept everyone who, anyone in every class that is akin to their like-mindedness. And by nightfall, you reach the tavern that has an inn overhead called A Pair of Black Antlers. And when you come in, you see that almost everybody in the tavern is wearing plate mail, and they openly display their holy symbols like the Torm or Tyr or Tempest. And in here, you see Leosin, and he is talking to a very large man wearing plate armor with the symbol of Torm, which is the right hand gauntlet is their holy symbol, and it is emblazoned on the chest plate of his plate armor. And when you come in, you are met by Frume's squire, and he leads you over to Onthar Frume and Leosin Erlinther. And Leosin claps you all on the back and shakes your hands. And he says, I would like to introduce you to my friend Onthar Frume of the Order of the Gauntlet. And Onthar orders a round of 1 gallon pitchers of ale for everyone. And orders food, and there is fresh mutton coming off of the spits in the fireplace, and most of this revelry, there are 3 or 4 different types of things that are going on. There are arm wrestling matches. There are mock sword fights going on right here inside the inn, and there are drinking contests. And Leosin leans over and whispers to Mist. He says, it would be in your best interest if you could all impress Onthar Frume.
Well, I'll be in the drinking contest.
All right. And
No, not really. I'll die.
Onthar Frume comes up to Schlagen, and he slaps his hand on your shoulder, and he says, Dragonborn Paladin, it's good to see another of our kind. Come, sit down, and I challenge you to an arm wrestling match. Friendly, of course.
Schlagen will happily agree.
Okay. Interesting.
Shredder will watch these puny humans fight with their fists.
Okay. So, Schlagen, make a strength athletics check. And Onthar Frume got a soft 20.
Oh, Slogging got a 15.
He slams your hand down on the table and he says, well, that was a good effort, but you're the loser, so you have to chug that gallon of ale.
Slogan says, shit, and Draconic, and pounds it.
Okay. And as soon as you finish it, there's ale coming, slopping down your chest, and everybody in the bar just starts to cheer and clap. And another of the knights comes up to Shredder and with a staff and challenges you to a friendly mock duel.
Go Turtle Power! Oh.
Whoop. I think we lost Shredder.
Oh no.
Shredder's having technical difficulties. It wouldn't happen to be dueling pistols, would it? Because that would, I would take that one up.
He just messaged me and says, oh, it was a random PC reboot. Those are always fun.
As you do.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
Okay, while we're waiting for him to log back in, now's a good time to take a small break.
Awesome.
I think I'm gonna take notes.
You're there, buddy.
Weird.
So you
Matcha.
drinking, Chris?
What am I drinking? I am drinking, so when we went to the coast, I picked up a bottle of Tullamore Dew Special Reserve 12-year aged Irish whiskey, and it is like drinking candy.
Oh.
It's quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a sale on it. It was like $44 for the 750 milliliter bottle, and I was like, sold. I will purchase that.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I'm not used to random PC reboots. It just was like, is the house out? Is the power off? What happened?
What's going on? Microsoft. Is now a good time to reboot your PC? We give you 3 seconds to respond. You didn't respond? Okay, we're rebooting.
Screen splash.
Huh. So yeah, this other paladin with a staff comes up and challenges Shredder to a mock duel.
Okay.
So Shredder, roll an ish.
Okay.
He got a whopping 8. All right, go ahead and make your attack. He has an AC of 18.
By mock duel, does he mean no weapons or
Just a first touch. So non-lethal.
Then I will go on with. Hold on, let me get my equipment set up. Great axe. We'll see how he feels about that. The 19 hit.
Yes, it does.
It's 18 damage. Piss him off.
So you easily get around and parry around his attack and tap him with the side of your axe. And once again, the whole bar cheers. And Onthar Frume leans over to Schlagen and says, you guys are evidently good fighters. And then Frume gets a new pitcher, a 1 gallon pitcher of ale, and says, who's going to go into a drinking contest with me?
Shredder will raise his clawed fist because I weigh almost 400 pounds.
Okay.
The cat could not drink.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, my con's not fantastic, but it's still a good time.
He got a 17.
I got a 14.
So he finishes first and slams it down, and he says, that means you need to drink another one. So
Okay.
the barmaid comes over with a second pitcher of ale for Shredder. And Onthar Frume turns to Leosin, and he says, you have good friends, my friend. And Onthar Frume goes over to the barmaid, and he sets down on her tray a small bag full of coins, and he says, make sure that our new friends have rooms for the night and all of their meals are paid for. And you all get pretty tight with your drinking and your full bellies, and you are able to go upstairs and get to your room, stumble upstairs to get to your rooms for the night. And you're asleep for about maybe 4 hours. And it's around midnight, between 12 and 1 bells. And there's a knock on your door, and it's Frume's squire. And he wakes all of you, and he says, Onthar Frume and Leosin Erlinthar all request your presence. Uh-oh, we lost Jeff again. Are you still there, Jeff?
I think I'm still here.
Oh, your camera blipped out. Weird. Okay.
Oh.
So he says, Onthar Frume and Leosin Erlinthar have requested your presence in a private meeting room, and he shows you to a private space off the tavern's common room and closes the door when he leaves. Waiting for you in the room are the broad-shouldered human paladin, the monk Leosin, and many pitchers of dark red wine. The paladin's face wears a serious expression, completely unlike his usual open countenance. My friends, we have important business to discuss. At this point, you know almost about as much as we do. And thanks to you, we know twice as much today as we did a 10-day ago. Something rotten is afoot. We have no formal organization to oppose these rascals. Not yet, anyway. We're working on that. And we need good people, like you, who know how and when to fight and how and when to keep their heads down and observe. I can't promise you anything except long days filled with danger and stress, but hey, what could be better than that for a group of adventurers, eh?
Sounds good.
He is wearing... Well, everybody make a perception check.
Oh, I got a nat 20.
Nice.
No. Schlagen didn't see nothing, and Yips got a 17.
All right. What did Mist get? 14? Okay. Elmira, Mist, and Yip all notice that Leosin and Onthar both have necklaces out and are clearly showing. Now, Leosin is wearing what looks like a leather choker, and it has a small silver harp nestled between the horns of a half moon. And you already know that that is the symbol of the Harpers. Onthar's necklace is a silver pendant that appears to be an armored gauntlet holding the blade of a sword. And you did not notice that this was in open view before. They explain to you that Erlinthar is a member of the Harpers, and he says Onthar is a member of the Order of the Gauntlet. They are offering membership to all of you. You can choose to either join the Harpers, or you can join the Order of the Gauntlet, or you don't have to join either. However, there's no downside to joining. But for instance, the free horses and the free room and board, these are just examples of the kind of aid that you can gain by being a part of these orders. And they will give you aid in this endeavor along your adventure, whether you join or not. But the membership is open to you. And they tell you that the Harpers are a order of spies, and their main goal is to make sure that only the people who should be in power are in power. And really, a lot of that is they don't want anything to be too good, they don't want anything to be too evil. In Leosin's opinion, Elturel is far too extreme to the lawful good side, but that's simply his opinion. He openly tells you that a lawful good society can be just as oppressive to live in as a lawful evil one. And so the Harpers really try to make sure that everything keeps an even keel, you know, so that there's not too much power on one end or the other. On the flip side, the Order to the Gauntlet is a regimented military type order that usually they're the first in as far as any kind of major conflict goes. But it's completely up to you. You don't have to join if you don't want to. But they tell you that what they would like you to do, should you accept this quest, they have a boat waiting, a barge, that will travel from Elturel down the Chianthar River to the city of Baldur's Gate. Because it's a barge, you can take your horses with you if you so choose. However, they do tell you that there wouldn't be a whole lot of point to that because the city of Baldur's Gate doesn't allow even dogs. Animals are the smallest animal that is really allowed in Baldur's Gate are cats because they deal with the rat problem, but they don't even allow dogs. And so anything that comes from the south goes in the south gate of Baldur's Gate, and they sell their horses, and then any merchandise from those caravans are actually carried through town on the backs of porters to the north gate, and the merchants buy new horses and carts. And the reason for this being is that the city is so tight and the passageways are so narrow that there's just not enough room for pack animals and things like that. A lot of merchants that come up from the south, for instance from Baragost, will come and they will sell their product at the south gate to merchants in the city who then move it to the north gate themselves and sell it. And those merchants on the south side will purchase more stuff, turn around and go back the way they came to make a profit again. So there's not a whole lot of point in taking your horses. Now what they want... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Schlagen will take the Order of the Gauntlet. He sees it as a great honor.
Okay.
I want to join the other people. They sound cool.
The Harpers?
Yeah.
All right.
Bob Knox not a joiner.
Okay.
Yeah, Shredder's not really into gatherings and talk and discussion of things.
Yep.
How it works. You know, I want to know. But all right, I'll be in Harper's Way myself, and I'll let you guys know all the gossip.
Okay. So we've got.
Let you make that decision on her own.
Okay. So what they want you to do is they want you to board this boat, go down the river Chianthar to the city of Baldur's Gate, and once you're in the city of Baldur's Gate, they want you to try to disguise yourselves and hire on as caravan guards for this merchant convoy that the cult of the dragon has formed that's heading north. They want you to follow them and spy on them, hopefully to report back.
I'm down.
So we're supposed to now go and protect Cult of the Dragon members?
Well, basically, not really help them, or protect them, but hire on as their guards so that you can be close to them and you can spy on them. And Leosin pulls out a pouch with a fist-size, almost nearly flawless ruby that you estimate is worth probably about 1,200 gold pieces. And he says, if you can make your way, this will be waiting for you in Waterdeep as reward.
Yay, Waterdeep.
Well, as a test of my stealthiness and cunning, I would like to join, if only to test my skills.
Okay. So it is 750 miles from Baldur's Gate to Waterdeep. It's a fur piece with a caravan it is estimated to take about 40 days.
We don't have airships yet? Damn it.
Well, they do, but
Let me get on that real quick. I'll build one.
yeah, hold on. Let me pull out my tools. I'll get right on that.
Eventually, I'll get propulsion armor, and you guys will just be in the dust. But it'll take a while.
Yeah, I forget what level that is for armor, but
It's like 9.
yeah, it's up there.
You shall never match me in speed.
It'll be hard to match a maximum.
Right.
You rely on your machines, I rely only on myself.
Then you need a rest, like a quarter horse.
That was fine, I'm tired.
Sprint nap. Sprint nap.
So, Anthar Frume he's gone out and purchased a whole bunch of new clothing in the attempt and new cloaks, hooded cloaks, that in an attempt to kind of make you not look like the group that attacked the camp, because obviously you want to be a little bit disguised and not recognizable. And so he supplies you with new clothes, new sets of traveling clothes, and replenishes all of your packs with rations and torches and ropes and things like that, and leads you out. It is now like 2 o'clock in the morning. Leads you out to this barge, and he says he and Leosin bid you farewell. They tell you that they will meet you in Waterdeep, where they are going to attempt to do their side of the mission of getting a group together to try and counter what they feel is a major danger to the Sword Coast and possibly all of Faerun in dealing with this Cult of the Dragon problem. And they said they will meet you in Waterdeep. And so this barge heads down the Chianthar River. Now the journey down the Chianthar River is going to take... Well, it can take about 3 days going down river. However, you could cut that down to 2 days if you decide that you want to go round the clock and go down the river on a barge via lantern light and just push your way through to try to get there ahead of the cult.
I'm down for around the clock. We can do it in shifts.
Alright.
Does the river have natural predators, or what's the situation on how
to the north of the Chianthar River is the Fields of the Dead, which there are the Fields of the Dead are basically ancient battlegrounds, lots of buried bodies and corpses and various rusted weaponry lying around, and there are a lot of quite numerous groups of wandering monsters, so there is the possibility.
Plus, this is from Baldur's Gate, because
You're going from Elturel to Baldur's Gate, so from here
the
to
Elturel
here.
is the town that has the whole fortification against Walking Dead.
Right.
So leaving the town who considers their sole threat zombies to pass the battlefield seems a bit unwise.
So what you learn while you're in Elturel is that the reason for this disc of light, you learn that it is called the Companion, and there for a while Elturel and the surrounding countryside was beset by a vampire lord and his undead armies, and the Hightower priest, the high priest of Elturel, prayed day and night and was rewarded for his communion with the Companion, which lit up the entire kingdom and drove out all of the undead. And its light goes about halfway down the river to Baldur's Gate.
Atmosphere light.
Yes. In fact, the other thing that you note is that it's the A Pair of Black Antlers Tavern and Inn is the only place you've ever stayed that actually had like blackout curtains for the windows.
Yeah, talk about serious insomnia. 20 years of no daylight or pure daylight.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody's a little kooky, a little on edge.
All hopped up on vitamin D.
He's hopped up on the juice, man.
So we could do day and night at least halfway down the river because it's bright. But it's a compromise or
Well, I think so. I was just gauging it as a water creature. I have much to do swimming ahead or checking the river for threats.
So you guys push it through. Oh yeah, no problem. So you are able to travel on this barge for 2 days with no encounter. And you reach the city of Baldur's Gate. You estimate that you have reached Baldur's Gate about a 10-day before the Cult of the Dragon will reach Baldur's Gate from the town of Baragost. So they're coming up the Coastway Road that will then leave Baldur's Gate, go up the Coastway, and meet up to the Tradeway to head north. In Baldur's Gate, so Baldur's Gate as a town is separated into 3 districts. There's the High District, where that's where all the money and rich people live. Then there is the Lower District, where most of the shops and taverns and inns are. And then there is the Outer District, which is actually a small tent city outside the town of outside the walls of Baldur's Gate. And this is where most of the porters and drivers and caravan guards stay. And there are entire inns and taverns that are just large canvas and leather tents set up. So where would you like to stay?
in the broke part of town so we get hired.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
All right. So you spend roughly a 10-day, and everybody make an investigation check.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Fantastic.
So, Mist, on your natural 20, you inform the rest of the group that you believe that the Cult of the Dragon has arrived, and the first thing that gave it away for Mist was that you see there is a leader that is being carried through town, a covered leader, and you were able to get close enough to see him between the curtains. And sitting in this leader, being carried by 4 nondescript slave-type people, you see the Black Dragon Resmir moving ahead. And then later in that day, you notice that there are clearly some cultists that have moved into the town and going to the north gate, and their loot and cargo is being carried in chests and bags through town by porters. And you notice these guys as not being very well disguised. They're not wearing the black and purple robes that you saw them in at the camp, but you recognize some of them.
Ah, cool. Do you think their stealth outweighs my knowledge and cunning?
So, you guys all meet up at the north gate. Everybody roll a d20. And you can add your choice, either charisma, persuasion, or strength athletics to the roll.
advantage. Hold on. What is it doing? Sorry.
No, that's
Got
fine.
an 18.
Oh. Because of my shell. Let's see if I can fix that.
Who got the 18? All right.
I'll just do vanilla.
So, Elmira, you are hired on as a bodyguard for a merchant. He is a half-elf merchant who sells ale and beer. Now, ale and beer are so common throughout the realms that it doesn't seem like that kind of merchant would make very much money. His job, he is a half-elf merchant who plans to sell ale and wine to the other caravan people, and he hires you to be his bodyguard, and he's going to pay you 10 gold pieces per 10 day, plus he will cover all your food and living expenses while on the road. Shredder got an 11.
18. 11 is an
Okay.
20 roll plus my athletics.
So on your 18, you are hired, same thing, as a bodyguard for a human lawyer named Alder Ernpulshurst. He is a decidedly disagreeable person, and gossip around the caravan is that he was driven out by a scandal, and you don't find that hard to believe at all. He's suspicious of everyone, and he hires you and agrees to pay 10 gold pieces per 10 day, plus cover all of your food and living expenses.
Okay.
Bognock, you got a 16. So same thing, 10 gold pieces per 10 day, and you are hired by a moon elf merchant, Adelri Lul. Lul's wagon is loaded with exotic wood from the jungle of Chult for master carpenters and cabinet makers in Waterdeep. Mist, what did you get?
17.
Same thing, 10 gold pieces per 10 day plus food and lodging. And you are hired as a bodyguard, for Akreni Ulielton, who is an independent wagon master, has 2 wagons. Both are hauling cured furs and uncured hides. He's a boorish man without a trace of civilization about him. He's not unfriendly, he's just smelly, vulgar, and utterly without manners. What did Yip get?
You've got a 18.
Same thing, 10 gold pieces per 10 day. She's hired on as a bodyguard for Lai Angerston, a dwarf merchant, who is an ambitious merchant hauling scented cooking oil and perfumes from the country of Om, hoping to make a huge profit from the aristocrats and dandies in Waterdeep. He talks about money constantly, how much he intends to make, how he will spend it, and how others will envy him for having it. And what did Schlagen get?
12.
You're hired as a sergeant of the guards for 8 gold pieces per 10 day, plus food and lodging. And so you are just you're a sergeant of just the overall guards that are on this caravan trip. So there are numerous people, aside from, this is a large trade caravan, and you can all see that the Cult of the Dragon, who is trying to remain undercover, is a part of this caravan, but not everybody in the caravan themselves are a part of the are a part of the cult. Most of these people are normal merchants or people just trying to gather together for safety of travel on the road. And you set out. And then here.
Just for my own amusement, as we're setting out, I will use Eldritch Sight to cast Detect Magic as I kind of make my way around and just see if I get any feel for any like large magic sources? Just so I know what's going on in my surroundings, especially if I'm sergeant.
You do see some stuff glowing, very minor glows, coming from the Colt's wagons. Their wagons, you've noted, are all completely covered by tarps and cinched down tightly with ropes. All of their stuff is not within visual range of casual looking, but you see some stuff magical glowing under their tarps. And you see some stuff glowing around with the rest of the caravan too. Minor things such as, like a ring of protection or a +1 sword or things like that.
I will let the rest of the party know my findings as I see them amongst the crowd.
Okay.
And you say that they're tied down?
Yeah, they have tarps that are tied down over their carts so that you can't see what's really under the cart. Of the stuff that you did see loaded, you saw like locked chests, burlap bags, leather bags, things like that were loaded under these tarps and cinched down.
So in my spare time, I'm gonna work on animating a pair of scissors.
Okay.
So that I can send it and cut the straps if I want to.
Okay. All right. Hold on just a moment. I will be right back.
Can the artificer make things semantic activated, a keyword?
I haven't seen any limitations on that.
The dishwasher door?
But I mean, there's not a huge amount of examples. They just kind of, at least at the first levels, they're just like, you can send a message, you can do this, you can do that. So they don't give a lot of details on how it works.
I think it'd be fun to have a whole bunch of your stinky ball bearings embedded in my shell, and then I can just activate them and be a stink bomb.
Ooh, that is cool.
You better be careful how you use that. I don't want to get no stink bomb on me.
That's why I said a keyword. I don't want her to fall off.
We can get you a cart, you can shell up, then we can just push you into the crowd.
So a 10-day, we waited a 10-day for the other group to arrive, right? So we were chilling for 10 days?
I think he's AFK for now, so wait for him to...
Is that what a 10-day is, though? Is it 10 days, or does it mean something else?
I looked it up, and it's basically a third of a month.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
How much is that? A tenth of a day? Yeah, it basically is like a month broken into 3 parts. I was like, oh, okay, that's literally 10 days.
Usually, yeah, right? So, I didn't know if it was going to be totally different, like a fortnight is,
What is a fortnight?
2 weeks.
Yeah, for real, right?
Well, in the colonial days, that's how long your tour at a outlet post was. When you had to go do deployment at the port, it was for 2 weeks.
Got it.
That makes sense.
Look at you knowing things. Yeah, knowledgeable people. All your knowledge.
I like the History Channel.
So then you know what a score is as well.
What?
4 and 7 years ago.
I did at one time. I'm just drawing a blank on it.
The 4th grade teacher knows.
4th grade teacher, what is it?
It's 20, so 4 and 7. 87 years ago.
For some reason I was thinking it was 50. That seemed too long.
Yep.
The only thing I know about Abraham Lincoln that's interesting is he probably had Marfan syndrome.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
what?
It's like a genetic defect that makes people really, really tall and lanky the way that he was. But there's also like defects in like your palate and sometimes in your heart or in your chest wall. Yeah, but that's why he looked the way he did. He was really weird looking.
Oh.
It's one of those really weird counterintuitive diseases that, as I understand it, the basis is your connective tissue stretches more than normal. Your ligaments, your tendons. So when your growth plates are going, there's not enough resistance to trigger the growth to slow. You just keep growing.
And that means your torso is normal, but all your long bones are like super long.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's like in most cases of dwarfism, the connective tissue, it's like the exact opposite problem where it won't grow. So like you have like a normal sized torso, and then your like long bones that don't. The growth plates never really take off after that.
Yeah, they hit that resistance threshold and slow growing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what they're back to being too. Obscure reference. My apologies.
As you spend the first couple of days, you're traveling along the coastway through the fields of dead. And
Oh, Chris, you're back. I didn't realize that.
I am back.
Before we continue.
Yes?
That first 10 days that we were chilling, we were kind of just gathering information and chilling, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, in theory, like, would we have been, like, doing any of our, like, off-time activities, like making potions and stuff or anything?
Certainly.
Sweet.
So in a 10-day, you could make 10 healing potions if you so choose.
Sweet. Much appreciated.
No problem. Let's see. So Yip is Yip a druid? That's right. Slogan?
Hello?
Yes. Is Yip a druid?
I'm sorry, what in this?
Is Yip a druid?
Yes, Yip is a druid.
Okay, so Yip and Shredder make make survival checks.
Oh. Yip was too famed up with the perfume and only got a... Oh, shit, still got a 9.
Okay. What about Shredder?
Shredder got a 22.
Okay. So, Shredder, you know that as you're traveling through the fields of the dead, that it is unwise at night when you make camp, especially on any of the hilltops, which is where you're likely going to be camping, is on the hilltops. You know that it is unwise to start a campfire or make one that's too big because you don't want to draw any of the creatures that make their way through the fields of the dead at night. Kind of like Aragorn getting pissed off that those filthy hobbitses were cooking bacon and tomatoes over a campfire.
I will share that intuition with people I know, but maybe not the cultists.
Well, would it be safe to assume with such a large group that most likely the travelers that we're with do this often enough they would know these things?
Yeah, a lot of the drivers know, that when, that initial run through the fields of the dead, it's unwise to start large fires. So you guys, you do okay for your first couple of nights. On the
Well, like I said, the first couple.
on the third night, however, let me see what is going to happen. On the third night, let me find a suitable map for this. And I don't really have one, but this one will work, I guess. Yeah, this works. Perfect. Let me bring up Mist. And Elmira. Okay. Trying to see if I've got something for this. I do.